This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, adult situations, and frank safety discussions. The names and certain details have been changed to protect the safe and the unsafe. But believe me, every item in here is true.
And if we want things to improve in safety, meaning the safety field, safety at your workplace or whatever, we need to be honest. Honest with ourselves, honest with our clients, and honest with our coworkers. The Zero Accident Sign, today on Safety Wars, with Jim Polzel. You've seen them. You pull into a facility, and it's the first thing you see. We have a goal of 0 accidents, 0 illnesses, and 0 injuries. Or, it has been 10 years since we've had an accident. Yeah, it sounds great, but usually once you dig deeper, especially in larger facilities, you figure out how they got there real quick. How did they get there? By not reporting injuries, illnesses, and mishaps. The incentive is not to report stuff. This is like the 800-pound gorilla in a room no one talks about. At best, they are treating this information as objective information, rather than acknowledging how subjective and how made up it is to begin with. The open secret is that we know stuff is being underreported, especially if you are up to 2 or 3 years of no accidents. Who really wants to be the person that has one? Many facilities I've worked in have had their incentive program and end-of-year bonuses based in part on what that sign says. So, what happens when you are the person who has an incident, no matter what the cause is? Do you report it and get into trouble, or do you suffer in silence? If you report it, you get peer pressure, revenge, extreme negative feedback, derision. I've seen people fired for getting hurt at work. Not because they got hurt, at least that's the official line, but because they lied during the accident investigation. But you find out that one manager says, hey, lie about this, and then the other manager says, we're firing you because you're lying about this. I don't think that's always by accident, by the way. Safety professionals at these facilities often are not respected. Their programs are not embraced, they are gaslighted, ignored, bullied, routinely denigrated, passed over for promotion, and otherwise dehumanized, and that's just putting it mildly. Even when they are respected, it's lip service, out of business necessity, because we all know that safety is usually the 4th or lower on the list of priorities. And it's understandable, because the company needs to get work, do the work, get paid, then worry about all the other stuff. So we know that it's a minimum of number 4 on the priority list. So let me ask you this question. Let's think about it. If you have someone in your workplace that embraces a system that is built partially on dishonesty and supports that system, would you really trust them? What behavior is really being reinforced? I'll tell you what it is. It's okay to be dishonest and lie to the safety person because they're lying to us. Here we are talking about the 0 accident signs. What about all the other statistics that we keep? The total recordable rate, which has gotten a lot of criticism lately, experience modification rate, and everything that we put on the OSHA 300 log. Lying about some of this stuff can be illegal. We're talking felony-level insurance fraud. If it's a publicly traded company, then you are looking at a Securities and Exchange Commission investigation, and those often don't end well. Remember, I'm not an attorney, I don't offer legal advice, I'm just a guy on the internet. If you treat someone dishonestly, what is going to happen down the line when the next safety person takes over or they move to another facility? I'll tell you, you cannot trust safety people because they lie. Then someone else has to deal with the fallout from the system that you are involved in. So what am I proposing? How about we start with frank discussions on safety, statistics, behaviors, and everything else we do? We get rid of these signs, or at least admit the Końskie Główne that they are. Look it up in the Polish dictionary if you don't know what that means. People are looking for leaders. Why don't you be one? And let's remember what has been attributed to Lord Courtney in the early 1800s. There are liars, damn liars, and statistics. For Safety Wars, this is Jim Polzel.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.